Judging at ringside, we have Lisa Jumpa, Levi Martinez, and Jesse Reyes. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing in a rematch for the WBO Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance, and boxing fans joining us around the world on ESPN Plus, live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters in Frisco, Texas, it's showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger. On my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with red and white trim, fighting out of Fort Lauderdale by way of Chelyabinsk, Russia. He weighed in at a ready 174 pounds. His record 32 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, with 28 big wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently ranked the WBO number 6 contender, and tonight seeking revenge in his 15th consecutive world title appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the hard-hitting, former unified and 2-time WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, introducing Sergey Kovalev. And his opponent across the ring, the defending champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trunks with white and gold trim, fighting out of Montreal, Canada, by way of Puerto Rico, Colombia. His weight 174.8 pounds. His record undefeated in his campaign with 24 wins, no losses, 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, he is making the first defense of his title. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated, defending, and reigning WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, introducing Eleider Alvarez. And now introducing our third man to the ring, the referee in charge of this bout, now to give instructions, Luis Pavon.
Okay, guys, I give you instruction in the dressing room. They're having a clean match, okay? Good luck. Le di la instrucción en el camerino, vamos a una pelea limpia. Suerte, Dios los bendiga.
Has the power-punching bully been forever tamed? Did that start with Andre Ward and continue through to what we saw against Alvarez? Or will Crusher show that there's one last chapter left to be written in this career?
See out right away, Alvarez moving backwards. He's a natural counterpuncher. He likes to set you up, lure you in with his defense, hands high. And he's moving to his right because he wants to land that right hand over the jab of Kovalev. Just pay attention as Alvarez continue to move right and occasionally move left because he's trying to set him up for that same shot he ended the fight in last time.
It was a right hand that started the downfall in the 7th round. The combination had finished with a right hand. The third knockdown that scored the KO. You know, Dre, you made the point, we were talking this week, it's one thing to be TKO'd, it's another thing to be laying on your side at the end of the fight.
Yeah, I guarantee you right now that even though Kovalev is a lot more aggressive in this rematch than he was in the first fight, that's in the back of his mind. He's looking out for the right hand, and he's even wondering, if I get hit with it, what's my reaction going to be?
We will see the first time it happens.
It's not easy to overcome.
Watch Kovalev here as he gets to the back of the head when Alvarez was dipped off to the right.
Clean fight, stop, nobody throw.
What's appealing to me is that both fighters are like, they just look really dry. Like, you know, they didn't warm up. So, you know, any guy right now, you get caught cold and go down.
Often a concern when you see that in the first round.
I feel like we see that a lot in boxing today. You know, 70s, 80s. You know, you saw guys come in, they had a nice drip. That's the way I was taught. I'm sure that's the way you were taught.
That's right.
Our trainers come from the same school of thought. But these days, you see guys come in here bone dry. And like you said, that's when you can get caught early.
Never thought I'd hear the day when I turn to the two of you, and it's a back in my day conversation.
Did I drop that?
Covered your careers for 15 years, and now it's a back in my day conversation.
I do like the assertiveness of Kovalev right now, and I do like the smart aggression. He wants his presence to be felt early in this fight. But as you just saw, Alvarez is still looking for that big right hand.
He's looking for that right hand. Sometimes Kovalev has a bad habit of shooting the jab from just a little bit too close.
I'm here.
He gets comfortable.
I'm here all the time.
And he doesn't always bring it back to his face.
Oftentimes, he doesn't bring it back to his face.
Well, Dre, that's the punch that you landed on Alvarez. So it's a flaw.
Good body shot from Alvarez.
Sure was. The left hand scoring here at the end of round number 1 for Alvarez.
Doesn't seem like much, but they add up.
Time!
Remember the trainer change for Kovalev, his third trainer in the last 2 years. Broke things off with John David Jackson.
Just keep putting the jab on him anywhere with the jab.
With Abror Tunsapulitov,
okay?
And now Buddy McGirt.
Don't get excited, don't get crazy, all right? Don't worry about the crowd. Hey, he's biting on every feint. Every feint you throw, he's going. But next time when you feint, you got to get a little closer with your feet, okay? Don't look for the big shot, just keep touching him, okay? Very good. When you get inside, don't wrestle. Save that energy. Okay? Very good. You can do this all night like this, baby. All right?
A lot of messaging from Buddy McGirt there. From everything from closing the gap and where he wants his feet after throwing a feint, to telling him don't look for the big shot, just keep touching him. But the thing that caught my attention was when he said don't wrestle in there, save your energy, conditioning, energy. Where he is once he gets to the middle and late rounds is what has been so critical when you size up Kovalev.
Very important. You know, when you're wrestling in there, you think that it doesn't take a whole lot of energy. It does. You know, that's part of boxing, wrestling and getting in positioning. You know, it's the physical aspect of boxing in the inside.
But if you haven't trained to do that and you just want to stay outside, if that happens, if and when that happens, you find yourself wearing down really quick. And that's what Buddy knows. Buddy is a seasoned former fighter, a former 2002 trainer of the year. He knows his stuff, and he knows that his pupils will wear down if he allows Alvarez to get in close.
But Dre, your firsthand experience of being in there against Kovalev twice, of the difference of what he is in the first 4 or 5 rounds compared to those middle rounds and later rounds.
Well, we knew right away that Kovalev was dynamic from the outside, but mid-range and in close, not so dynamic. He does not know how to defend against body shots. He doesn't throw body shots, and we knew that he would fade in the back half of the fight. So we wanted to help him out a little bit with some early body shots.
No holding. Stop.
Luis Pabon having to do a little extra work early on between these two. Bernardo, what did you hear in the corner of Alvarez?
Mark Ramsey is very conscious of what Dre was just saying. He wants him to keep moving to his right. He wants him to feint and keep countering early in this fight.
Mark Ramsey is an excellent trainer from Montreal. He also trains another 175-pound titleist in Artur Beterbiev.
Seems like they're looking for Kovalev to fade in the second half. They want to turn up the fight the second half because they feel that Kovalev lacks conditioning.
Yeah, Tim, you took the thought right out of my head. Team Alvarez that's exactly what their game plan is. They wouldn't mind if they broke even in the first half of this fight 3-3. That's perfectly okay with them because on the back half of this fight, from the 7th round on, that's where they think they're going to earn their money.
And they were trailing on the scorecards when then they hit the dynamite in that 7th round of the first fight.
And I asked Alvarez in the fighter meeting, I said, did you feel him weakening? Did you feel him, or did you sense that he was getting tired? He said his punches were not the same beyond the 6th round.
Wide looping right hand from Alvarez.
Just a little off the mark. But you saw the left hand of Kovalev is down. So he must be careful.
End of 2. The rematch of Alvarez and Kovalev.
Comment tu te sens comme ça? Bien. T'es mieux comme ça? Ouais. Plus à l'aise comme ça? OK, mais si tu le fais, la chose la plus importante, c'est ta défensive. Il faut qu'il recule. T'as compris? C'est le jab inside, et après, il faut frapper. Si lui frapper sur tes gants, il faut contre-attaquer. On peut pas le laisser frapper parce qu'il va gagner les rounds comme ça. T'as compris? Alors, tu bloques et la contre-attaque. Et commence à lui mettre la right shot. OK? Respire comme il faut. Tu peux mettre la pression avec le jab.
Look like Kovalev learned something from Buddy. This is the old school move right there. Having that stick out for a little bit long, blinding him, and coming around right behind it with the straight right hand. And it lands on Alvarez. Alvarez took it well. But what a good shot from Kovalev.
Allá. Stay back.
Kovalev, her first one. WBO light heavyweight world title in 2013. Then had the signature moment against Bernard Hopkins. And then, of course, the first go-round with Andre Ward was November 2016, and then TKO'd by Ward in 2017.
See Alvarez coming out a lot more assertive in this 3rd round. I'd like to see him pick up the jab just like he did in this round, but also start touching Kovalev to the body. You don't have to wait to do that. You can do that early.
Yes, he can. And just 10
just looked to
seconds
come
ago,
over the top of that jab there.
10 seconds ago, I saw something that I didn't like from Kovalev. He actually was hit with the jab, and I saw his knees buckle just a tad bit. Doesn't seem. Look at his feet, Dre. You see the same thing I'm seeing? He's back on his heels every time he gets pushed back with the jab.
And again, I think that has a lot to do with Alvarez being more assertive, standing his ground, and not allowing Kovalev to take ground in this 3rd.
Let's get the reaction of his trainer, Buddy McGirt. Bernardo's with him.
Buddy, what do you think of the legs of Kovalev here in the round number 3?
To be honest with you, I think he's fine. You know what I mean? I tell him, don't let this guy get him riled up. You got nothing to prove with nobody. Just take your time. Don't look for the knockout. Keep it basic.
You were talking about the jab and the importance of the jab in this fight. How's he working with that?
He's getting better each round. Each round we're getting better and better. You know, we worked on that a lot in camp. But you know, when you got a guy that's a puncher, they always want to rely on the home run.
No.
Thank you, buddy.
Stop.
And that sums up a lot of Sergey Kovalev and where he is in his career. When you have that gift, when you can punch, when you're knocking everybody out,
Give me the hand.
and finally touch him up there, you get away from other things.
And Joe, that should have been a conversation in Kovalev's career from the very beginning. Hey,
right.
You're strong, you can punch, but don't look for it. But it was never an issue. You know, we've talked about this before, that knockouts and victories, it covers a multitude of sins. People, trainers, assistants, they will overlook the flaws in your game because they're enamored with the good things that you do. But when you get knocked out a few times, when you have some mishaps, now you're forced to go back and work on the aspects of your game that you didn't in the first place.
28 knockouts among his 32 wins.
No, stop. I'm here.
Every now and then I see Kovalev kind of lunge in with his jabs. He got to be careful, especially the double jab. He reaches for Alvarez. Alvarez takes it 2 steps back every time Kovalev steps forward. He got to be careful because Alvarez can have a right hand waiting on him, setting a trap on him.
End of 3, a chance to hear what Mark Kriegel and Max Kellerman have to say. For that, we say hello to Kevin.
Indeed, Tess, and a good one so far. There was a subtle moment in that 3rd round, and both of you reacted. Max, what was it about?
Look, Kovalev spent his career as the bully. I think he's winning this fight on points right now. He's outworking Alvarez so far. Even against Ward in the rematch and Alvarez the first fight, he was winning rounds. You have to respect his power, and he can box pretty well. But when it was time to touch gloves, boy, Kovalev wanted to touch gloves, and Alvarez did not. All of a sudden, the bully wants to make friends.
It was very civil of him, but we're not accustomed to Sergey Kovalev being civil or nice. Meanwhile, we're back where we were last fight. Kovalev is up on points. We're waiting for that defining moment when or if it turns.
Tess, maybe some bullying being done to the bully, huh?
Maybe, but to Max's point in terms of work rate and volume punching, Kovalev right now has thrown 181 punches to Alvarez's 78. He has a connect advantage of 47 to 28 over Alvarez.
Like I said in the beginning, Alvarez is a natural counterpuncher, so he likes to wait. He don't mind waiting. He's trying to set a trap for Kovalev.
And so far, I like what Kovalev is doing. You know, there's a lot of small skirmishes and a lot of small battles that are taking place where one guy may try to push the other guy back, but the other guy will resist him to let his opponent know that, man, I'm not going to budge. Kovalev has won a lot of those small battles, but there's just this feeling that, just like in the first fight, that all of a sudden the tide can turn in Alvarez's direction.
It does very much feel like it could go that way. I'll tell you, he is coachable, and he's taking to Buddy McGirt's message of simply just touch him.
And plus, look at the pace. I mean, Alvarez is not pushing the pace at all. He's not putting pressure on Kovalev. And Kovalev, he's allowing Kovalev to do whatever he wants to do and control him with the jab in spots.
But even though Alvarez is not pushing the pace, and he may not have, I think, like Max mentioned, that Kovalev is winning this fight, Alvarez is taking inventory. He's watching Kovalev drop that left hand, time in and time out, and I guarantee you, somewhere around the midway point in this fight, maybe the 7th, 8th round, he's going to try to come over the top with another big right hand.
Andre's been tasked with scoring the fight ringside for us. 2 rounds to 1 after 3. Says the former #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world who twice defeated Kovalev.
Good body work right there from Alvarez. See, that's what he needs to pay more attention to, the body, to slow down Kovalev and discourage him. That's exactly what Andre Ward did in their second appearance.
Good uppercut from Kovalev right there, answered by Alvarez.
Tries to go around with the right uppercut again, and then comes around the guard with the right hand to the side.
I agree, Tim. Big mistake from Alvarez by not throwing any body shots. He's headhunting right now, and who knows, the knockout victory may have him overly eager to repeat and do it again in this rematch. He's got to be disciplined and set it up.
I think that's often a trap that you can fall into as the conqueror of a first fight like that. You think you're simply going to pick up, and it's just going to be what it was. Not necessarily true.
When you force it, Tim, you know, it never comes.
Never comes. But I like Kovalev just letting his hands go, and what that's allowing him to do is actually keep the hands at home for Alvarez. Just working his hands a little bit, and then occasionally coming around the guard.
In the back half of this 4th round, there's just a little more thud on the punches of Kovalev. He was touching him early. He's bringing it a little more. Triples up that jab and then goes with the right hand.
I like that sneaky right hand on the ear of Alvarez.
Great job, to your point, Tim, of getting around the guard. Kovalev having a good finish here to round number 4. His best work so far.
Very good, champ. Put your legs out. Put your legs out.
Want to remind you that
2 things I need you to do.
We have action coming your way on ESPN on Sunday, February 10th at 7 o'clock. It is Jose Ramirez, the WBC junior welterweight champion. He's in against Jose Zepeda. Ray Beltran, by the way, also on that card. And then we're going to get a peek at Rob Grant back home in Minnesota. That'll be Friday, February 15th. At 9 o'clock. That's immediately after the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. 160-pound titleists.
Right hand to the body.
Vamos fuera.
Keep the faith coming.
See a little bit of bruising around the right eye of Sergey Kovalev.
Box. No. Leave, bro. Okay, break. Stop.
Kovalev right there sliding a nice right hand over the top of Alvarez's jab. Now Alvarez is doing exactly what he needs to do, pushing the pace and going down to the body of Kovalev.
We got a lot out of checking in with Buddy McGirt. Now a chance to hear from the other side. Alvarez's trainer, Mark Ramsey's with Bernardo.
Mark, last round we saw very little body work from Eleider Alvarez. I saw the referee come over and warn him. We saw more work. What's going on? What do you like?
Well, I want him to throw a couple of body shots, but now we are round number 5. It's time to go over the top a little bit and try to hurt that guy.
Kovalev slowed down the first fight. Do you see that same rhythm coming here?
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you very much.
No.
Like a little backhand from Kovalev.
What we see here from Kovalev is not the imprint of Buddy McGirt from a physical standpoint, from a trying to reteach the offensive game of Kovalev. It's mental, it's psychological. Buddy knew he only had a limited amount of time with Kovalev. I don't have time to teach him how to throw new punches. This guy is a former world champion several times over. He knows how to fight. Yeah. I have to convince him that he doesn't have to load up on all his shots. He can box and still get to the finish line, which is ultimately the knockout. Great job so far by the work of Buddy McGirt.
I'll tell you, Tim, you keyed in on it about a round ago, but the best targeted punch right now is that right hand to the left ear as he drives down again against Alvarez.
Yes, it is, because Alvarez put those earmuffs on. He comes around right on the ear. Alvarez needs to be careful he don't get caught on the temple. It's a dangerous shot. Ooh, there's the right hand we were looking for.
Alvarez took a shot, just missed.
Just a little bit off the mark.
The right hand Mark Ramsey says he's looking for right now.
But Alvarez is skipping one step. He's skipping throwing the jab before the right hand. He's just shooting the right hand, and Kovalev is seeing it coming, so he's not landing it flush like he wants to.
Kovalev doubles up the left, comes back with a right hand.
Hey, Kovalev being a smart veteran right there. Coming with the left hook. He sees Alvarez moving towards the left hook, and he doubled up. It might have not landed flush, but it definitely got Alvarez's attention.
I like what Kovalev is doing right now. He's just touching Alvarez to the body, to the head, straight shots, hooks, body shots, jab. He's doing it all right now, and that's really hard to defend against if you're Alvarez.
And it seems like a familiar script as we come to the end of 5. Kovalev seemingly in control the way we see it here.
That's better. Be very careful, okay? I need more right hands to the body. I need more of them. You're trying to hit him to the head too much. Don't look for the one punch, okay? Just break him down a little bit more, all right? Okay, everything else is cool. Keep him on the outside with the jab.
Here it is. Kovalev coming forward. Anytime Kovalev lets his hands go and extend with those arms, guess what happens? Alvarez keeps those hands at home, and he comes around the guard with a beautiful right hand, a sharp right hand. A little bit high on the head, but a good shot.
Okay.
Got his attention.
Keep him at bay with your jab this round, okay?
There goes Ho. There goes Ho.
What up, guys? Let's go. Let's go, sir.
Buddy McGirt, the soon-to-be Hall of Famer, telling his charge to be careful, keep it measured.
Hook.
Wants to see him to work to the body a little bit more.
Yeah, smart instructions. I mean, you got a big, strong guy in front of you. You definitely want to break him down to the body and take some of the steam out of the punches. The only punch that I see occasionally, there's the right hand that I see from Kovalev to the body is a straight.
There's a right hand that comes in and then the uppercut. So now we see how will he react.
And Kovalev was hurt with that right hand too.
He sure was.
He was buzzed.
Remember, it was round 7 the first go round. Here we are, the early goings of round 6.
But I like the response of Kovalev. He's standing his ground. He's still being mindful and smart, but he got a big right hand in as well.
Good solid jab as well from Alvarez there. A little bit of a different disposition now from the Colombian.
Fatigue is now set in. I see a little bit from Kovalev. Alvarez threw that right hand right on time. It landed, hurt Kovalev. So he must be careful not to jab from a little bit too close.
Dubbing up left hand to the body.
Some good body work from Kovalev there.
I know there's been a lot of talk about the conditioning of Kovalev, and he's mentioned it a lot, you know, basically every time he's lost. But Alvarez has been breathing heavy too in between rounds. I've been watching that closely.
Alvarez letting Kovalev work a little bit, let him wear down a little bit more so he can inch closer to land that big bomb right there, that overhand right. Kovalev moving right, trying to get away from it, doing a good job in eluding it there.
But Alvarez has to put money in the bank. He has to win some rounds, and he has to start establishing himself now for the later rounds if the right hand is going to land. There's no guarantee that it's going to land.
Looks like there's just a touch of swelling under the right eye of Kovalev.
He's banking on the knockout, champ. He's waiting. He's patient.
Big right hand from Kovalev right there. Caught Alvarez coming in. That hurt Alvarez.
Yes,
Alvarez is hurt right now.
Yes, it did.
Good combination from Kovalev.
But Kovalev must be careful. Don't get too greedy. Alvarez can punch, especially with that right hand.
And I think Kovalev knows that Alvarez is hurt, but he's being patient.
As he should.
A round that started with Alvarez coming out and landing one of his own is finishing up with a turn towards Kovalev.
Hey, see when you keep him on the outside? Now listen, you see he's trying to come over top of this, right? Every time he thought he's trying to hit you with the right hand. So keep going to your right away from the right hand, okay? Now, give me some more feints, but keep him outside. You know when you touch, hit him with a shot to the body or head, then step around him, okay?
Right hand by Alvarez early in the round.
This is the right hand Alvarez is trying to land. He landed in the first fight, and he just landed it right there. Kovalev actually took it well. You know, Kovalev putting those earmuffs on, had a little bit of space, a little bit of daylight, and Alvarez was able to sneak that shot right over the top.
So undoubtedly, the biggest question we had in the lead up to this fight was just answered. He handled a big right hand to that same spot well. Settled in, came back later in the round. Buddy McGirt pointed to his left hand when he sat him down. He said, you realize he's trying to come over this.
And he told him to move right, to move away from the power hand.
Round number 7. Back in August, this is where the power surge happened for Alvarez.
Good body work right there. You can see right away. Kovalev grabs. He did not like it at all.
It's the first time Alvarez went to the body with both hands with bad intentions. I don't know why it took him 7 rounds to do that. As you mentioned, you saw the reaction from Sergey Kovalev.
Let's take a peek at Andre's scorecard through 6. 5 rounds to 1 for Kovalev.
This fight is far from over. Got a lot of time left. And Alvarez has that eraser. And all it takes is for Kovalev to make one mistake, and it can end all of a sudden, just like the first fight.
Funny the way we view Alvarez now, making a statement like that he has the eraser, because he was considered a good puncher early in his amateur career. Had a really bad injury to his right hand, where now he has misshapen knuckles on his right hand. So he actually punches with the knuckles of his index finger. And all of a sudden, the guy that we were framing as an elite boxer, an excellent boxer, but not much of a puncher, does what he does in August, comes in feeling confident about his punch, and now we frame him this way.
Well, those are the strongest 2 knuckles. The first knuckles on the fist. You know, a lot of the Russians, they use the knuckles down to generate power.
And that is something that Alvarez has worked on.
Yeah, even before the first fight with Kovalev, you could tell that Alvarez could punch. Now, there's levels of punchers. All punchers are not created the same. He's a big kid. He's 35 years old. 35, 36 years old. I'm calling him a kid.
It's all good.
But you could tell he could hurt you if he hit you right. So I wasn't like extremely surprised at what he did with Kovalev. The way he did it surprised a lot of people. But again, if you watched him, you could tell he had some pop behind his punches.
As he shows there.
There it is. Alvarez applying a little bit more pressure. You see the mouth open of Kovalev. Got hit with the right hook.
As we come to the end of 7, we will check in with Kevin, Mark, and Max.
Tess, so far it's been a pretty dominant showing by Sergey Kovalev, and I think a lot of people at home, Mark Kriegel, want to know, when is Alvarez going to let himself go?
I don't understand what Alvarez is doing. A guy with 12 KOs is playing for the knockout. He's not going for the body. It's like a bad weather report. He's called the storm. I keep waiting for when it's going to come.
I know what Alvarez is doing, I think. Look, Kovalev is heavy-handed, and he's technically good enough that when he keeps his hands busy early in a fight, you have to respect his power and maybe keep your hands home. As the fight is progressing, Alvarez is starting to walk Kovalev down a little bit. Even from the guy putting mustard on the shots is Alvarez. He does not look like he's sweating Kovalev to me.
Tess,
but
Max,
he's losing the rounds. Kovalev's winning the rounds.
Max is sounding optimistic.
We have seen Alvarez take those steps forward and come with more offense as he comes out here and meets him right in the center of the ring and fires off for the body.
Alvarez coming out the gate being a little bit more assertive, trying to get down to the body of Kovalev. You know, and fatigue is starting to set in on Kovalev.
Another attempt to go to the body by Alvarez with both hands. Landed maybe 1 out of 3, but still it's not consistent enough to do the damage that it needs to do and to wear down Kovalev as this fight is wearing on.
Kovalev just must still be careful. You know, he can't allow himself to make mistakes, and when fatigue sets in, you know, Dre, you got to stay behind your technique.
Well, Kovalev is boxing good. He's still boxing well, even though it's the 8th round, but you can tell he's taking his foot off the gas a little bit. Now, Alvarez has to do his part.
Yes.
He has to start to step it up, not just to the head, but also to the body, and he has to force Kovalev to get into the place that he was in their first fight, because if he allows Kovalev to box and rest when he wants to rest, Kovalev can do this all night long.
Well, when you're looking for one shot, you might have to, you know, try to catch up with a little bit of mustard. And that's what he's doing right now. He's just looking for one shot at a time, but he's losing these rounds.
Yes, Kovalev has been banking rounds.
Both guys had a role to play in this rematch. Kovalev wanted to convince Alvarez that the first fight was a fluke. Alvarez wanted to convince Kovalev that the first fight was not a fluke and that it's time for Kovalev to move on. Alvarez is not playing his role. He did not read his script. Kovalev is doing his part.
Well put.
Good jab. Both guys trying to land the jab. Nice stiff jab from Kovalev there.
And to Buddy's point about Kovalev not loading up in the first fight and in the second fight, those were the things that gave me the most trouble when I fought Kovalev. It wasn't the power. It wasn't him trying to knock my head off. It was the short shots, the straight shot, ba, 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 ba. They landed hard, but they weren't thrown hard. That's what had me thinking, trying to figure out, trying to go to my plan B, plan C. That's when Kovalev is at his best, when he's not looking for the knockout.
A heavy-handed guy who, if he has work rate, is still going to be very impactful.
Alvarez sneaked in a nice little overhand right. See, Kovalev took it well.
Watch your head, watch your head. Stop, stop.
Surely not the way Mark Ramsey wants to see Alvarez finish up that round right there.
Eleider, on a perdu trop de rounds. Si tu n'entres pas, on ne gagnera pas le combat. Tu comprends? On est en 9e round. Tu comprends? Est-ce que tu comprends, qu'est-ce que je te dis? Bon, ben, il va falloir que tu commences à travailler. Depuis le début du combat, tu lances juste un coup de poing, un coup de poing, un coup de poing. Mets ça ensemble, mets les coups de poing ensemble. 1, 2. Come on. Bon, respire. Puis quand tu vas dans les clinches avec lui, marche, je veux que tu viennes le porter dans les cordes.
This is exactly the shot that Alvarez wants here. It's the overhand right. You see Kovalev stepping in with the jab, and you see Alvarez coming right over the top with the overhand right.
But it's a single shot.
Yes.
And Kovalev and Buddy have worked all camp trying to avoid the single overhand right. So Alvarez has to go in his bag of tricks, and he's got to be more nuanced, and he has to do more than just throw one shot.
Well, all it took was one shot in the first fight.
Listen, I don't speak French, but I know when a trainer is imploring his fighter to work more, to get out of spots, to take advantage, and to be on the offensive. Mark Ramsey was not happy at all with Alvarez.
Well, I've seen Ramsey work with this heavyweight, Rivas, and score a knockout in the last round.
That happened against Brian Jennings a few weeks ago. Well, he was lingering through that fight and then came out and scored the knockout in the 12th and final round.
So I love his tactics of motivating this fighter.
He gave a very passionate talk to that heavyweight, who was actually here ringside to support his dear friend, also from Colombia.
Kovalev is boxing good right now. You know he's in the zone when he starts to wave that right hand. He'll show you the right, but really shoot the left, just like he just did right there. That's how you know he's comfortable and he's confident.
He's confident right now.
And a little pop in his step as well. Boxing well, putting that combination together. Shooting off that jab, puts it downstairs, then comes upstairs.
Yeah. Fighters, we love when we, feeling harmonious and everything we do landing. And right now, that's the way Kovalev feels. Everything's landing. Every time he throws the right hand, it lands.
Sweeping left hand as well, halfway through round number 9.
And I don't understand if you're Alvarez. He tried the right hand there.
No.
There's the overhand right from Alvarez.
But again, it's a single shot, Joe.
Yep.
A single shot. It may or may not land, but it may not be enough to get it done tonight. My question to Alvarez is, if Kovalev is hitting you, why don't you want to hit him back? If you're going to lose your title going down swinging. It's been a long time coming for Alvarez. He's been a mandatory since 2015.
Was ducked.
Did not get an opportunity. His first fight with Kovalev, he came in as a replacement. That wasn't even technically his opportunity. He made the most of it. Why would you give it away like this?
This is a better looking and fresher looking version of what you would expect in round number 9 out of Kovalev. Backs him up, does so with the jab. He's finding a very nice rhythm offensively here in round number 9. The way Buddy McGirt wants it to look.
Good, steady work for the
Yes, don't look for the knockout. Don't worry about it. Touch him, work, be smart, be managed, and just enough boxing to take these rounds.
Il faut absolument lancer pour le knocker, pas pour laisser faire le corps. Eleider, tu me dis oui au dernier round puis t'as pas travaillé. C'est un round de paresseux. C'est un round de paresseux. Ils donneront pas la victoire comme ça. Lance tes mains. T'as pas besoin de rien de compliqué. Juste du 1-2, 1-2, mets-les ensemble. Il est brûlé, il est fini. Respire comme il faut.
Hey, we need more jabs and feints, okay? He's gonna try to pick it up. You stay calm, okay? Stay calm. Your jab is throwing them off. All right, let's go, champ.
C'est comme ça.
Vamos fuera, second zone.
That constant refrain from Buddy McGirt to stay calm, to play it smart, to keep it simple, just keep touching him. It has worked.
Who looks like the fresher guy, Dre?
Kovalev. Once again,
it's all mental from here on out.
2 punches from Alvarez to the body, and then he poses for the rest of the round and allows Kovalev to do whatever he wants to do.
Well, look at the CompuBox numbers. 625 punches thrown to 268, 176 landed to 86.
He got Kovalev's attention with that combination, but no follow-up from Alvarez.
Bernardo, what is going on with Mark Ramsey when he gets Alvarez back in that corner?
Well, my French is not very good, but once I spoke with Mark, he says, look, we need to get desperate. He needs to pressure, and he needs to go to work. He needs a knockout to win. No doubt in the corner.
I think Ramsey has a great sense of the reality of where this stands right now.
That jab of Kovalev is definitely neutralizing Alvarez and making him think before he does anything.
And don't get it twisted. Kovalev is dishing out a whole lot of punishment in this fight. It may not look like he is, but trust me, there's a reason Alvarez is not opening up.
Commanding lead on Andre's scorecard for Kovalev.
This is what you see when a seasoned former fighter who's now a trainer brings old school to the new school. He taught Kovalev how to fight smarter instead of harder. Fighting harder got Kovalev knocked out. Fighting smarter has Kovalev fighting like this tonight.
Training smarter.
And training smarter.
No, stop. No.
Buddy McGirt has done a very good job with Kovalev. Of course, a former champion at 140 and 147 pounds heading into the Hall of Fame. And also give a lot of credit to Teddy Cruz, the strength and conditioning coach, because that was absolutely a point of emphasis for this fight, to fix some of the flaws of Kovalev. And now Sergey Kovalev here in the final minute of round 10 is adding to it.
Kovalev is stepping it up offensively, landing some good shots and staying out of harm's way.
Boxing beautifully.
This Kovalev is hard to beat in the light heavyweight division by anybody.
Well, this will be a division that if he can get this belt back tonight with this kind of win, will undoubtedly test him, but it will also provide very big and very attractive fights. Beterbiev, Gvozdyk, and Gilberto Ramirez, the super middleweight champion, announcing that he's moving up to 175 to join that crowd.
Joe, I think Andre Ward spoke for everyone who's watching on ESPN Plus when he said, you know, when Alvarez is getting hit, why doesn't he throw back? Max, we're 10 rounds in.
Well, he's not taking risks. Kovalev gives you the impression like maybe Alvarez could get some business done, but whatever. You have to tip your cap to Kovalev. He's fighting an excellent fight. This is why McGirt told him to box. He's heavy-handed. Box well, stay busy, keep the other guy's hands at home. Alvarez is fighting an uninspired fight, and you have to give Kovalev credit for that.
I'm still mystified by Alvarez. The guy spent years stepping aside, and from the style in which he's fighting tonight, he's stepping aside again. He's ceded the decision, and he's playing for the knockout. It's late in the fight. This is exactly what Buddy said Kovalev could do. Win with a jab and go 12 rounds if he needed to.
Tim Bradley picked Kovalev on points. I thought he was crazy.
He may be right.
He is crazy.
And if he
in a good way.
I said 80% of Kovalev he's going to beat. He's going to beat him. And he's
not over yet.
Fight's not over yet.
So far, Tim, you're looking like you were right, man.
Hey,
anything can happen, though.
Yes, right.
Especially with Alvarez and knowing what just happened to Kovalev in August. You know, when we talk about somebody first becoming a champion in boxing, we always say you become 25% better. You become more confident. You become a better version of yourself. To this point, Alvarez has done the opposite. He's actually regressed. But here now, final minutes, round number 11. Can he land that right hand that hit the jackpot back in summer?
I truly felt like Alvarez was going to be tougher as a hungry champion versus a hungry challenger, but he's proving me wrong tonight.
I didn't. I mean, in the first fight, you know, Kovalev is 50%.
But how do we know that?
Because you can see his performance tonight. You know, after the 4th round, he started fading. He didn't have his legs underneath him. He couldn't take a punch. He's taking punches, numerous of hard right hands over the top to the chin, and took him well this time around. So he might have been overtrained in the first fight, like he said.
It is very possible. I mean, I know that, you know, all of us have given Kovalev a hard time about the excuses because there's just so many of them. But one thing that I read about Buddy and his assessment of Kovalev in training camp, and you don't hear this a lot from trainers, is that he said Kovalev gets sharp really quick in camp.
Okay.
He doesn't need 7 weeks of sparring. He just needs the right amount of sparring. He said, furthermore, I didn't bring in big guys. I brought in smaller guys that would force Kovalev to box and think and use his IQ. And we're seeing the benefits of it tonight.
And
just because you're fighting a big guy doesn't mean you have to spar a big guy.
But I definitely have to commend Buddy giving some great advice during the rounds to Kovalev, telling him the right things.
Nice response with that double jab there after Alvarez threw the right hand.
See, we can rant and rave about the offensive performance from Kovalev, the fact that maybe he hasn't faded the way that he has in the past on the back half of a 12-rounder. But I think what's most impressive is his response when he does get hit. Alvarez has landed some shots to the temple. He's landed some big right hands to the chin. And Kovalev has answered every single time and taken the play away from Alvarez, which I think has allowed him to box and allowed him to maintain control of this fight.
Another warning from the referee to Alvarez. Let's listen in as the 12th and final round is set to come our way.
Respect comme il faut. Respect comme il faut. Eleider, je veux pas que tu essaies de... je veux qu'il me voie. Je veux pas que tu lances comme ça. Je veux que tu lances comme ça. Avec le jab, le double jab et sur le côté. Il faut le faire encore et encore et encore et encore et encore. Juste, j'ai pas besoin d'autres punch, tu as compris? Le double jab, la boulette, le double jab, la boulette. Avec les yeux ouverts. Regarde ce que tu fais. Regarde ce que tu fais. Tu saignes, hein? Tu sais? Ouais. Let's go. Allez, commence. Dernier round, man. Come on. T'as 3 minutes. T'as 3 minutes.
He's gonna come out rough. You stay relaxed and go back to your jab. Hey, last round, baby. 3 minutes. 3 minutes, Sergey.
Buddy McGirt knows what's coming. Kovalev seemingly up big on the scorecards. Stay in control, he says. He's coming out rough. Let's see if Alvarez does. He has to know what he needs.
He's telling him to remain calm, so that way he can see what's coming. A lot of times guys don't remain calm.
No. Stop. Hey, no quiero que... Hey,
Andre's card, a 109-100 lead heading into this final round.
The ref has been quiet this whole fight. I think he wanted to get in there and make some noise before the fight is over.
As you get older as a fighter, you can't do the things that you used to do in training that you used to do when you were 25 years old.
Absolutely.
You know, you must pull it back a little bit. You don't need all that work. You know exactly what it takes to get you ready, you know, for a fight. It don't take 8 weeks, 12 weeks. It takes 6 weeks sometimes. But you have the experience, and that's what Kovalev has. He has experience to be able to go the distance and also to be able to fight as well as he's doing right now.
And sometimes that's the insecurity of a fighter. I know I've fell victim to that, pushing and wanting to do another mile and do extra sparring rounds. And I needed my godfather and my coach, Virgil, to say, listen, son, you're fine. Hey, we just went 12 rounds yesterday. Take the day off. You need that. Kovalev has gotten that from Buddy McGirt as he's putting both hands on Alvarez right now. And again, Alvarez has no answer.
And not just a round to stay calm. around where he's having success. The up jab followed by the right hand. As Kovalev looks to take this thing in for a landing and regain the light heavyweight championship belt that he lost.
That's hard to defend against right there. Those short, jolting, straight shots from Kovalev. He's a heavy-handed puncher, so he doesn't have to throw hard. He just has to throw, and Alvarez will feel it.
And just beautiful timing and punch placement, right? Right, Dre?
Beautiful punch placement. Good shot from Alvarez.
Right hand from Kovalev.
Go ahead. Kovalev right now is taking those right hands very well.
And these are the small, silent battles that we talk about. Kovalev has refused to allow Alvarez to take the play in any exchange. And I think that's probably the thing that I'm most impressed with, because that shows you internal fortitude.
Yes.
That's not a training camp thing. That's not a buddy thing. That's a Kovalev thing, and he's checked that box tonight.
Another right hand gets around the guard from Sergey Kovalev. Up on his toes, darting in and out, boxing beautifully, volume punching, utilizing the jab, scoring with the right hands. What a performance by the former champ.
Put an exclamation point on that performance with that right hand. Beautiful performance from Sergey Kovalev. And great job by Buddy McGirt.
Excellent job by Buddy McGirt. His first time working with Kovalev as he's gone through the trainers in recent years. And I think you hit on a lot of the points. Good amount of it was the mental side. Yeah. We know about the conditioning that was necessary, but he reset him a bit.
He made him believe again. You know, Buddy McGirt, I had an opportunity to work with him. I brought him in for a few days, and he said, Tim, I want to get you back doing what you used to do, letting your hands go, you know, being very active in the fight. But I decided to go with Teddy Atlas instead. So I understand the way he works. If a fighter can get control of your brain, he has control of you, man.
Buddy wasn't intense enough for you?
That decision to go with Teddy worked out well. Teddy Atlas, a trainer now of one of the champions in this division, Alexander Vozdik. A lot of smiles around those supporting Kovalev. This was the night he expected to have, even when there were so many doubts of all the distractions outside the ring, of everything that had been bubbled up and revealed of what happened this summer, the major legal issues, the doubts coming off, the knockout loss. When we met with him yesterday, I turned to you afterwards, Tim. I said, this is not the guy I thought I was going to be dealing with.
Absolutely not. You know, Kovalev came out, he showed out, he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He said that, hey, I was overtrained the first time around. I believed it. I went back and watched the tape. I saw exactly what happened. And I saw what happened tonight.
Let's hear how the judges see it. For that, here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Ford Center here at the Star in Frisco, Texas, we go to the scorecards. The judges are in agreement. We have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judges at ringside, Levi Martinez and Jesse Reyes both scored the bout 116 to 112. Judge at ringside, Lisa Jampa sees it at 120 to 108. All three in favor of the winner. Regaining his title, now the three-time WBO light heavyweight champion of the world, Sergey Crusher Kovalev.
You know, Mark Kriegel made the point this week of asking the question of, was Kovalev merely the bully who isn't feared any longer? Or can he make history again like Duran and Foreman, the bully who